PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code Cajun, all caps, CAJUN, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Bryant with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. This is my flu game. I'm coming off the flu. It's been a really long past 72 hours. I'm going to cough 900 times during this episode. I have a huge family. All my kids had it. We're kind of working our way through it as a family. Let's just say we watched a lot of TV, a lot of NBA League Pass, a lot of kids' movies and whatnot for the last 72 hours. But today, back in the office early Monday morning for the PWCC weekly top 100. I'm going to do 96 again. Let's go big time. Let's start at the bottom because there's some really interesting stuff I want to talk about. The first thing you may have noticed on the thumbnail is I want to look at the difference between Kobe cards and Jordan cards. And so let's just start at the very beginning. I'll show you what I got here. We're going to start at the very bottom. Card number 96 is a Kobe Bryant electrifying PSA 10, and it sold for $1,440, and that struck me as being extremely inexpensive. So I don't know if that means the Kobe market's down or whatever, so I chose to take a little bit deeper dive into it because I know that a Jordan electrifying PSA 10 would sell for significantly more. So first, let's check out the Kobe. It's a Pop 50 card. What did I say? It did $1,440. Here's what the chart looks like on your screen over the last year. The card's almost exactly even. It's had a little run up here to 2,000, but it's back down here around $1,440. 13 sales, so that's a pretty good sample size. That's about what the card's worth if I had to guess. The Jordan, same card, same grade, a little bit higher pop, sells for $4,490. So, you know, about a 3.5x, something like that for the Jordan card. It's been as high as $7,700 this year. The Jordan card actually ran up significantly and has now come back to reality, but it is up 24% over the last year, so it's significantly outperformed the Kobe over the past year. But I just wanted to take this first snapshot. We're going to do it again. We're going to take another snapshot of Jordan versus Kobe in just a second, but that's the first one I wanted to look at. So Jordan about 3.5x, Kobe on that electrifying, beautiful card. Really like that insert. We talk about it at length in the Cajun Cardboard Michael Jordan Hierarchy video series. If you haven't seen it on my channel, go check out that playlist. Tiger Stripe, Anthony Edwards, PSA 10 does $1,470. And by the way, buckle up. We're going to look at, well, we're not going to look very deeply, but we're going to look at a lot of 1972 tops, PSA 10s that went for wild numbers. Somebody had a set break, and obviously when that happens, these PSA set registry chasers go bananas trying to upgrade their personal 1972 top sets, and today was no exception. Here's a card I wish I hadn't been sleeping on, and I was sleeping. This is LeBron's 2007 Topps Chrome, 57 variations, X-Fractor. It is serial numbered to only 50, and it is a BGS 9.5 Gem Plus. This card sells for $1,470, which seems like a paltry price for a card that's that low serial number, that deep back into the 2000s Topps Chrome. That just seemed like a low price. Kobe Auto goes for a $1,530 raw, and then Andre Ice Cold 3000 from 1972 Topps, otherwise known as Otto Moore, does Gem Mint 10. Is it me, or does he look like he knows something that you don't? Like he's got something that you don't know about. And so he looks like a little sly devil right there. $1,530 for that Otto Moore PSA 10. And here's example number 2. It's the 97 Kobe Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor card number 88 PSA 10. This card goes for $1,560. So let's take a look at this one now. Here we go. We've got to go back into sales history. $1,560. The last one sold for $1,525. The card before that, $1,650. The card before that, $1,134. $1,560. So pretty consistent this year. Not any crazy undulation. So you're talking about a $1,500 card. The exact same year, the exact same atomic, the exact same grade for the MJ, $6,900. So about 4x, and that sort of just gives you guys a perspective of the difference between collecting Kobe and collecting Jordan. The 3.5x, the 4x, that's usually what you're looking at. If you go look at their PMG Reds, like a Kobe is probably, a PSA 4 is going to be in the low 120,000, something like that. The Jordan's going to be around 400,000. It's just the way it is. That's sort of what the market has decided. And believe it or not, when people are trying to comp Kobe cards, they comp them in comparison to Jordan cards because Kobe's just, he's a notch below most certainly, but he is probably one of the 4 most collected basketball players that ever lived. And so you're always trying to find that, that despair, that margin between Kobe and Jordan. So there's another Kobe right there, 1560. That one's right on the number, so nothing crazy, nothing wild right there. Kobe autograph from Innovation does 1590. The LeBron base Bowman Rookies and Stars Chrome PSA 10 does 1590. The Jordan SPX Gold from 1997 PSA 9 does 1620. The Doc PSA 10 from the greatest set of all time, 1986 Fleer, does 1620. 2 cartoon cards, but this is not the Jordan, right? We see the Jordan Jewel sell pretty regularly here and there for huge numbers, but this is Ralph Sampson and then Patrick Ewing. First of all, I don't think Patrick Ewing is that black that you can't even see the guy's face or his eyes or anything, so shame on them for making a card that's that difficult to even tell it's a human being. You got Ralph Sampson over here that gets 2 pictures, almost like it's a damn Flair card. He's got a nice bust picture right here. We've got an autograph across the bottom. You got an action pose right there, and Ralph Sampson weighed about 57 pounds, but he looks like he's a freaking bodybuilder in this picture, so just funny stuff to look at these 1985 Prism Jewel stickers. 1710 and 1770 in PSA 7 grades for those 2 cards or stickers, respectively. A color match Tyrese Halliburton Purple Pulsar PSA 10 Pop 5 goes for 1830. And then this looks like, tell me if I'm wrong, this looks like a detective from Scotland Yard, maybe in the early 70s, late 60s. Jim Fox, not the baseball player who is a Hall of Famer, the basketball player that nobody's ever heard of from the Supersonics, does 1830. This is the first. Actually, this is the second because we saw Andre Ice Cold 3000, Otto Moore go before this, but this is the second of many 1972 Topps PSA 10 commons that we're not going to look up, but that I assure you did very, very well because set collecting is alive and well, and vintage set collecting and vintage PSA set registry battles are being waged every single day. I'm not in the trenches on those battles, nor do I care to get in the trenches, but I admire and respect all of those vintage set collectors that are doing that. We know it's extremely hot in baseball, for people to try to chase that PSA set registry for sets in the 50s, 60s, 70s, etc., trying to push as high as they can into the average grade for their set and try to win that set registry war. Basketball has taken hold as well, and so I admire and respect all those guys that are doing this. I wonder if the same person picked all of these 72 PSA 10s up. Maybe they did, maybe not. Somebody let me know in the comments if you know something I don't. 1972 Fred Carter here, PSA 10, same thing, goes for 1830. We got a Galactic Luka. This is his rookie. It is an insert rookie, but it's the Galactic. It's a Jim BGS 10. It does 1860. That card would have gone for $18,000 3 years ago, but we're in 2023 now, so nobody likes Luka, even though he's one of the 3 best players on planet Earth. 1,860 for the Luka. The Ultra Stars Gold embossed Kevin Garnett does 1,920. That's only a pop 8. There's only 3 graded higher. Really big time insert there for a KG collector or potentially a set collector. That could be an Ultra Stars Gold set collector who picked that up. I don't know. If you were the winner, let me know in the comments, please. And by the way, if you're interested in selling on the PWCC marketplace, please do me a favor, since it's no skin off your back and will not affect you one way or another monetarily, consider using the promo code Cajun, C-A-J-U-N, all capital letters, if you ever choose to sell on one of these PWCC weekly auctions. You can't miss it. The submission process is incredibly easy. A lot of people are consolidating their cards right now. If you're one of those people who's interested in consolidating your collection and upgrading into bigger and better cards, it's not really what I do or what I'm doing right now, but if that's what you're doing, which it seems like the masses are doing, consider using the promo code Cajun, all caps, when you submit your cards to the PWCC weekly auction and let them do all the work so you don't have to. The next card is from the Houston Rockets. It's Dick Cunningham, who as a kid was called Dick Come in Hand. No question about that. That kid got teased as a kid. Why any parent would name their son Dick, I have no idea, especially when your last name is Cunningham, which sounds so much like Cummingham or Coming Hand. It's just bad all around, and he looks like he might have been a bad player all around, to be quite honest with you. 2010 for that PSA 10. Jordan SGCA for Authentic. I guess 2040. I don't know why. I can't fathom why someone would put that card in an SGC slab. It's just not. I don't know. It just seems foreign to me. Let me know in the comments why I'm the crazy one. 72 tops Bob Christian 10 does 2100. This guy, Mel Counts, it feels like he's saying, "Let me show you the importance of a chest pass, son." And he's showing you how to throw a chest pass because that's probably all Mel Counts did is throw chest passes to people who could shoot and score. 2,160 for this Mel Counts PSA 10. Here's a card that I really like. We're going to look this one up. I pulled a couple of these, including this card, out of the cross-country collection. Cross-country collection, what the hell are you talking about? If you guys haven't seen, it's a humongous, many thousands of cards collection that I purchased all the way across the country in Connecticut and drove it back here to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'm going through the collection. It's an entirely raw collection, and I'm going through it card by card. If you guys want to play along and follow along with my journey over the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's going to be 8 months, you're welcome to check out the playlist. It's called the Cross Country Collection on this Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel. I pulled one of these. This is just a really cool card in hand. I also pulled the purple, the grape flavored Iverson That's Jam, which is also just freaking awesome. These cards were tough condition wise, and it looks like this one in the top right's got some pretty serious issues. I'm not sure how it got a PSA 10, but it did. But this Kobe, let's look up a sales price for this one. I thought I had it pulled up. There we go. That's the card over the last year. It's sold 5 times. Only a pop 26 card in PSA 10. The card has actually jumped a little bit, 5% over the last year. It got as low as 1825, and this one last night was 2190. So beautiful card right there. You've got to be kidding with this guy, right? There's no way that dude's playing in the NBA. This is why this is why you hear people talk about, you know, Bill Russell and Chamberlain and those guys playing against firemen and plumbers, because of people like Dale Schluter or Schluter or Skluter or Sklutter or whatever the hell his name is. You cannot tell me this guy would survive for 4 seconds in the 2023 modern NBA. 2,220 for that PSA 10. LaMelo Ball, who has literally become a phantom. He is like Bigfoot. No one has him on the radar because the dude just cannot consistently stay healthy. When he plays, he's must-see TV. He's doing great things and putting up great numbers with the shittiest roster I have ever seen in the NBA. With no offense, actually the Wizards and maybe the Spurs, other than Wemby, have a shitty roster. But the Charlotte roster sucks, and LaMelo Ball does nothing but put up great numbers. He's actually a more efficient player than anybody ever thought he would be, but he is as off the radar as it gets. This is a cool 2020 Flawless Rookie Emerald Parallel, serial number to 5. It does 2250. More 72 tops, including this Lamar Green, who sounds like a wide receiver for the Steelers from the 70s. We've got a Jason Tatum Flawless Patch Autograph, BGS 9.5. This is not a rookie card, but it's serial numbered to 5. And anytime you have an Emerald Parallel with a Celtics player and you've got a white and green patch with a green, window silhouette, it's a pretty cool color match, to be honest. 2310 for this Jason Tatum right there, who has thrown his name who's thrown his hat in the ring for the MVP, although I don't see how anybody can approach Jokic. His numbers are so astonishing, and his team is so damn good. Another plumber, 1972 Topps Tony Kimball, and I apologize if you're a member of the Kimball family, but you can't tell me that this basically Cody Zeller 2.0 deserves to be playing in the NBA, although at the time he might have been 6'7", which made him a giant. 2310, we got a 1 of 1. Black, it's a Panini 1 and 1, black 1 of 1, Luka Doncic, raw NBA certified, of course, 2,340. If you want to know more about that NBA certification process and how you can sell your raw cards on the PWCC Weekly, check out my video playlist. I've got one. I think it's under like PWCC 101 or PWCC tutorial or something. I've got a video out there on how to submit your raw cards to PWCC and kind of talk you through which ones, make sense and which ones don't. They need to have a certain value threshold. This one clearly did. It sold for $2,340 with the NBA certified, and it's got a heat map of the card and what it looks like, and we can actually take a quick look at it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you scroll into this card, it's a raw card. NBA has certified it, labeled it, so you know what you're buying. Of course, this one's in that original. Oh, it's got a little video as well. Awesome. But here's your heat map. As you can see down here, this is probably not a good, well, there you go. So there might be a little bit of an issue on the bottom right corner, and so that's why you see that like slight yellow down there. Everything else, according to Mike Baker and Associates, who are grading the graders, and in this case, they're just grading a raw card, is checking a lot of good boxes. And so maybe somebody picked this up thinking they can gem this card. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see if it pops back up with a in a PSA or a BGS slab. Then we got Charlie Scott, who's actually a really good player. 2340 for that 1972 PSA 10. I've lost track of how many that is, but as you can see, there was a set break. And then this little child molester looking guy, this is Larry Bird, believe it or not. Well, it's not really because it looks nothing like him. But it looks like a very ominous child molester who's driving around in one of those vans with no hubcaps and no windows. It's just not good. Larry Bird's body wasn't great. But he looks like a WNBA player in this, little silhouette picture right here. Everything about this is very disturbing to me, but somebody paid $2,370 for it. I'm guessing that's a set collector as well, to be honest with you. And then we've talked about this little rascal, Billy Keller, on this channel before, and then somebody was nice enough to chime in and give me a history of Billy Keller's career, and apparently he was a stud at some point. $2,370 for that PSA 10 Keller. And then, what is this, a basketball? What do you want me to do with this? Play basketball? Yes, Jerry Sloan. He's in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame for his playing stats. I think he's in the Hall of Fame for his coaching accolades. For those of you too young to remember, this was the coach that did battle with Phil Jackson and the Bulls and coached the great Stockton-Malone combination. And there's Jerry Sloan as a player. He was a 14-7-2 career player, shooting 42% with a below-average PER. But he's in the Hall of Fame. He actually made 2 All-Star teams and 6 All-Defensive teams because he was a nasty, nasty son of a gun, even as a coach. So he's in the Hall of Fame. My guess is he's in the Hall of Fame as a coach, not a player. But I didn't care enough to do the research. But Jerry Sloan was a very, very well-respected coach around the NBA when he coached those Jazz teams that nobody wanted to watch on TV. $2,370 for this Sloan PSA 10. Again, pop 4 Sloan, pop 7 Helen Keller. That's a very low pop, and that's people chasing those things on the set registry to upgrade their sets. Finals ticket, Tatum 910 does 2,400. Tim Duncan O-Pee-Chee PSA 10. Those O-Pee-Chee cards are they're phantoms. You just don't see these things very often, especially not in PSA 10. But this is a Tim Duncan rookie O-Pee-Chee PSA 10. It does $2,400. That's only a pop 8 in PSA 10. And Archie Clark All-Star. This is, again, 1972 Topps PSA 10. It's a pop 6. You're talking about single-digit pops for all these PSA 10s. Let's keep the thing going. Elmore Smith, PSA 10, $2,400. Happy Hairston, PSA 10, $2,400. And then this is the card that I want to talk about a little bit more. I think this is the second best purchase, and I don't really weigh in too much on what's a good and bad purchase. If I do, usually I'm doing it jokingly. But is Donovan Mitchell, the next Michael Jordan? No, he is not. It's too late for that. Is he going to win 6 titles or even, kind of match Dwayne Wade? Because that's kind of the mold you get with Donovan Mitchell. He's probably not. But he is a damn good NBA player. He's definitely going to be a Hall of Fame player. And if you don't think that that's correct, just go look at his numbers. As long as he keeps doing this, he's going to end up in the Hall of Fame. If guys like Reggie Miller get in the Hall of Fame, then Donovan Mitchell sure as shit's going to get in the Hall of Fame. I can assure you of that. $2,520 for this Donovan Mitchell 2-color patch, RPA, serial number to 99. Very rarely do I weigh in, but this was a horrific decision to get this card graded without subs. Nobody wants a blank BGS label at the top. And no, the subs are not on the back. It is a 10 autograph, but no subs on here because somebody wanted to save $11 or whatever the hell it costs to get subgrades, and it's a mistake because you're not going to get full value for the card. So I've got it pulled up. I don't know what that is. I've got it pulled up right there. The card took a freaking nosedive. The card last sold just a few months ago, 6 months ago, for $5,980. It sells today for $2,520. That's less than half value, and it is unquestionably 100% because somebody chose not to put subgrades on that card. And here's why I think this is the second best purchase. Stay tuned to card number 1 because card number 1 went for a record price, or a very impressive price, but I think it was the biggest steal of the entire auction, and it was the number 1 highest selling card. We're going to get to that in a moment, and it just happens to be in my forte, Michael Jordan. But look at this. Somebody picked up a BGS 9.5 Donovan Mitchell with no subs for $2,500. Look what a PSA 10's worth, $10,000. So there's margin there. You can go get that damn thing graded and sell it for more. Hell, you can just send it back to BGS and say, put some subgrades on it and probably sell it for $5,000. So somebody there with a fantastic pickup on a Donovan Mitchell. If you act quickly and you are diligent, you can get that thing into BGS, put some subs on it, or send it to PSA and take your chances on a 10. Hell, I'd send it to PSA 3 times and just keep cracking until you get a 10. You might get one. If not, you get a PSA 9, and god dang, what's a PSA 9 worth? Probably about $2,500. Oh shit, PSA 9 sold for $5,000. So I'm going to crack that card and send it to PSA super quick, get it back, and take my chances. Jordan 1986 star. This is card number 7. This is from the Jordan 10 card subset, and one of the best photos, right? This is Jordan just yamming the ball through there. 2,520 for that one. Triple auto Bird Magic DNA. It's a PSA 2 for the card, which, God, the card doesn't look that bad. PSA 2, 10 for the autograph is what we care about. 2,520 for that triple auto of the true rookie card for Bird and Magic. And then this little fraternity guy, Jack Marin, he's a PSA 10. He is a Pop 7. There we are again with the single-digit pops, guys. 2,520 for that fraternity selling Jack Marin. And in what world is a Josh Giddey gold rookie SGC 8.5 worth more than a Gem Mint Donovan Mitchell true RPA? I just don't get it. I don't understand the hobby we live in right now. What the hell is going on here? Next to that, we've got a Giannis Gold Pulsar BGS 10. This is not a rookie, it's a second-year Giannis. I like the 2014 Giannis cards, to be quite honest with you. This is obviously a Pop 1. It's serial number to 10, but it's a Pop 1. Only 2,640. I like that pickup right now because I think Giannis cards are down. If you go look and see what Giannis is doing, like over the last 30 days, his numbers are MVP worthy. Do not sleep on Giannis as an MVP candidate. He seems to be playing more games this year than he did last year, where he was kind of resting that knee, which has given him some kind of chronic issues. Anthony Davis, 2012, horizontal, serial number to 25. Really cool looking patch. 2,640 for that BGS 9. That's Pop 6. There are 6 higher graded. Working our way up. We've got a Kazi Russell PSA 10, 2640. We have got a Clem Haskins. Okay, I've got to tell a Clem Haskins story. You're going to be like, Cajun, what the hell are you talking about? You're a white guy. You live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You're, 49 years old. Clem Haskins is 80 years old. How in the hell do you have a Clem Haskins story? Well, let me start from the beginning. I was born in Louisville, Kentucky, and my father attended Western Kentucky. He was a Western Kentucky University Hilltopper along with my mom. They both graduated from Western Kentucky in Bowling Green, Kentucky. My dad was in class, and he had a class with Clem Haskins, which is scary because my dad's a few years younger, which means Clem Haskins at the time was taking pretty lower level classes just to keep his grades and play basketball. He was a phenomenal player at Western Kentucky in college. Ended up having a long pro career. Whatever, let's get to the point. So my dad is sitting in class, right? And back then when you take these tests, they hand out booklets. Well, they hand you out a blank booklet, and it's got your name at the top, and then, then they hand out the test question, and then you're supposed to write your answers to the test questions in the booklet, and then you turn in the questions in the booklet together. So my dad's sitting in the class. He is sitting right next to Clem Haskins. So they're handing out all the booklets, and they go in alphabetical order, and they hand them all out. So as they hand them all out, my dad opens this booklet. It's blank. He glances over at Clem Haskins, right? He's probably in awe because my dad was a basketball player as well, trying to make the freshman team at Western Kentucky. Well, when he sees Clem Haskins open his booklet, the entire booklet's filled out with all the test answers. So if you think cheating for basketball players started recently or in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you need to stand corrected. Way back in the 1960s, Clem Haskins' entire test booklet was already filled out. So my dad said Clem Haskins opened his book, saw that all the answers were done, closed his book up, walked up to the front, handed it to the proctor, and walked out of the class in 2 seconds. Needless to say, Clem Haskins has a degree from Western Kentucky, and if you don't buy it, then go ask my dad, call him out on it. Right next to that, we've got a guy who is showing you the absolute worst possible way to shoot a basketball. This is not in any way, shape, or form the correct way to place your guide hand on a basketball before taking a shot. John Warren, shame on you. What the hell are you doing in this picture. 2,640 for that Warren PSA 10. Great lamb chops, though. Luka Doncic, Contenders Optic, BGS 9.5. Mixed Gem does 2760. We've got a very suspicious Kareem, a tiny Archibald, and a John Havlicek. More on John Havlicek. We're about to get to John Havlicek in just a second. This is a pop 3 from 1972 Topps. That's a big-time card with 3 Hall of Famers on it, 3 legends on it, 2,760. And then right next to that, we've got one of the most frightening-looking humans I've ever seen, Jeff Mullins. That's not Chris Mullins' dad, because Chris Mullin is not plural, despite the fact that every freaking former NBA player who played in the exact same era as Chris Mullin pluralizes his name and calls him Mullins, including the great Michael Jordan. Every time he talks about Chris Mullin, he calls him Mullins. Mullins was shooting this. Mullins was shooting that. No, Mike, it's just Mullin. But this is Jeff Mullins, more than one Mullin. 2,760 for that Jeff Mullin with that creepy stare. 2009 Panini Limited, Steph Curry. This is a serial number to 299. It's a BGS 9.5 Min Gem. It's a really good-looking card. The patch is a very tiny window and really not that sexy, but $3,000 for that Steph rookie. And then we've got an ABA championship. Pacers take the lead, 1972 Topps. 3,000. That's a pop 10 card right there. And then we've got Tyrese Halliburton. By the way, rest in peace, George McInnes. When I was a kid, my dad used to tell me about George McInnes and show me clips of George McInnes on TV. And he used to shoot a one-handed jump shot, like legitimately leave the ground and shoot a very elevated jump shot, but he'd shoot it with one hand. The guide hand was not on the ball, which just goes to tell you that, you know, George McInnes, and the reason I brought up George McInnes, he played for the Pacers, and he scored the shit out of the ball. It was one of the strangest looking shots of all time, and so I was always fascinated by George McInnes. I was also fascinated by Jamal Wilkes. I was, for some reason, fascinated with people who shot the ball incorrectly, despite the fact that my jump shot was absolutely perfect and something that people are going to write about for decades to come. Tyrese Halliburton was a 2020 Contenders Premium Gold autograph, 3,120. This one far outsells that Pulsar, purple Pulsar seal number to 35 PSA 10. That's interesting to me. 3,120 for this NBA Tyrese Halliburton autograph gold thingy. The only 1969 Topps card in the top 100, to my knowledge, correct me if I missed one, is this Clyde Lee, where he's wearing these little blue nut huggers. 3,240 for this PSA 9 Clyde Lee. And then now we get to go back into Card Ladder and look up a card that I happen to care about, used to own, and have since sold. I had to liquidate my Shaq collection to make the sacrifice to push harder into the Jordan collecting world. This is Shaq's 1992 Stadium Club Beam Team. There's some discussion out there about Shaq's best rookie cards. You've got some of the obscure stuff, of course, but primarily you're talking Beam Team members only, Topps Gold, and then you're talking about the Upper Deck, right? And so, and there's 2 Upper Deck variations. I'm talking about only one of the variations in Upper Deck. This PSA 10 Beam Team does 3,480. Where was I? Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm right to it. The card's up 64% over the last year in what we know has been a declining market. So that's great news for Shaq collectors. Keeping it in perspective in 2 ways. It has dropped from 5,250 last sale to 3,700 this sale. So what is that? A $1,500 drop from the last sale, which was only 3-4 months ago, but it is up 64% this year. But before you get too excited, Shaq collectors, look at the last 2 years. The card's down 47%. The card sold for $7,000 almost exactly 2 years ago to the day, almost 7 days off, and it's down 47% over the last 2 years. So always good to keep perspective, but at some point, you know, when I hit that 2-year graph, it's not going to look so negative and so sad and depressing and cause so much anxiety, because we'll be 2 years off of that bubble. We're still 2 years on that damn 2021 bubble, but we're working our way out of that. Michael Jordan, SP Authentic, Sign of the Times, Carolina, BGS 9, 10 for the autograph, does 3,600. And then I don't even know where to begin with this little diabolical rascal. Dave Sorensen is, I don't even know where to begin on this guy. It's a PSA 10 Sorensen. I don't think this is a Dave Sorensen super collector that bought this. I'm going to guess it's a 1972 Topps set collector who wants to kick your ass on the PSA set registry. He gets this Sorensen for $3,600. 2014 Kobe SP Variations Gold. People don't like the variation, and I I think it looks okay. And, it's got the stuff in the background or whatever, but I think these are great looking cards, especially the gold on gold. I mean, this is a good looking Kobe card, 3,720. And the variation golds were still the serial number to 10. A Jordan PSA 9 sticker. Let's look it up. That's a flagship, Jordan sticker in in every man's grade that you can obtain. Of course, the PSA 10 is where shit gets crazy. That's a $41,000 card. It's been as high as $200,000 or something like that. Yeah, you heard me right. But the PSA 9 right here is only about a $3,700 card. It's actually up 9%, and it's a high pop card. It's a pop 2000. I say card, it's a sticker, of course, but that's it. That's what it looks like. Of course, Otis Birdsong. Every time I look at this card, Otis Birdsong is always getting beat left baseline, and Jordan's going to do whatever he wants. 9.41% rate of growth over the last year for the Jordan PSA 9 sticker. So even high pop stuff in Jordan has a chance, and it's doing relatively okay in some instances over the last 2 years. 72 Topps Billy Cunningham, PSA 10. That's a pop of only 3. It does 37.20. A Kobe triple patch auto does 38.40. And then all I can think of when I see this Spencer Haywood card is, this is a 1972 Topps Spencer Haywood PSA 10 Supersonics card where he is cackling maniacally because he's got you where he wants you. 3,960 for this Spencer Haywood PSA 10. And he was the Sean Kemp before Sean Kemp. Dual patch auto Yao LeBron, 4,080. And then this guy who somehow snuck his way into an NBA photo shoot, his name is Jeff Petrie. It's a PSA 10. It looks like his jersey's on backwards, but there was some licensing issue, of course. It's a pop 5, and it does 4,080. Petrie looks like he is going to rip you to shreds and then piss on your dead body after he destroys you. He clearly, Jeff Petrie was one of the most soul-snatching destroyers the NBA has ever seen. And then we got a Kevin McHale, a logo man. This is a PSA 7 10 for the auto. What an interesting card this is. It's from 2014 National Treasures, and it's Kevin McHale, who had one of the strangest bodies in the history of the NBA. This is one of those serial number to 2 logo men, and I don't get that, but it is 4,200 for that one. The LeBron PSA 10 Topps Chrome does 43.20. And then the first card that I lost, snoozer, sad face emoji, was this 1994 refractor PSA 10 Michael Jordan. And you can see those refractor lines going across. So you can get 10s even with those refractor lines going horizontally across the background. Apparently, I didn't see any evidence of greening on this. And that's kind of the primary concern when you're buying these 94 finest refractors. And you guys know me, I want the card the way God intended with no coating on there. I want refractors to refract, baby. Comment below if you agree with me. 4,440 for that one, and we got to look that up. That card jumped, and that's why I didn't win it, because I wasn't willing to take that leap. 37.20 last sale, it jumps 19% to 4,440. That's the PSA 10 without coating. What about the PSA 10 with coating? It's worth less. What does that tell you? People love it the way I love it without the coating. 3,620. There's 146 with the coating. How many are there without the coating? 41. So factor that in. All right. And then I want to talk about Havlicek. And so it's pretty crazy that the Havlicek PSA 10 sells for 4,440, and then this Jeff Petrie sells for almost the same price. Like, that's astonishing to me. I just want to shed some light on something here. And again, I'm not this big Celtics lover. I don't have any I don't have a dog in this hunt. I'm not a Havlicek. I don't even own a Havlicek card to the best of my knowledge. But this 72 Havlicek PSA 10 goes for 4,440. I just wanted to show you guys how good this freaking animal is. How many people do you know finished their career playing 13 seasons in a row and making an all-star team? Not just making 13 all-star teams. He literally retired after making the All-Star team at age 37, where he averaged a little 16, 4, and 4 for the Celtics. Was a great free throw shooter, was an amazing rebounder, and for a guard for the Celtics or wing player, had some really, really monster years, especially years where he was doing Oscar Robertson type shit, 24, 8, and 7, 29, 9, and 8, 28, 8, and 7. He went on a run there where he was really, really special. Look at his accolades 13-time All-Star, 8 NBA titles. Yeah, people forget about John Havlicek. 8 NBA titles, 11 All-NBA teams. That means a lot more than an All-Star team. An All-NBA team means you're one of the best in the entire league. 11 seasons, right? That's over a decade of being All-NBA, 8-time All-Defensive, and then we know he was on the NBA 75th anniversary team. His nicknames were Hondo, which we knew, and then Country Boy. So pretty straightforward. That was I think the last of the 1972 PSA 10s. And then we've got a Doncic PSA 10 ball at waist auto. You can't even fit your stuff in there. 4560. This is a Kobe Apparitions Refractor, and it's a BGS 9.5 quad gem. It does 4,560. A lot of people aren't aware of this. There's an Apparitions, and then there's an Apparitions Refractor. The Refractors are serial numbered to 100. The Apparitions features Michael Jordan. The Apparitions Refractor set does not feature Michael Jordan. But the question is, how the hell much would that Michael Jordan Apparitions Refractor serial numbered to 100 be worth if it did exist? Well, if we take our margins that we've been looking at, the Kobe sold for $45.60. The Jordan and all these other cards we've looked at has been selling for 3 to 4x. So you're probably looking at a $15,000 to $25,000 card if it was a Jordan BGS 9.5 quad Apparitions Refractor. And then, by the way, if you'll remember, the first card we looked up in today's PWCC Weekly Recap was the Kobe Bryant Electrifying PSA 10. I think it did 1440 we talked about. Here's the Jordan Electrifying. It did 4680, and I think that this card actually, yes. So let's look at all sales. Again, remember, in Card Ladder, if your card or if a card in the same grade sells twice on the same night, Card Ladder uses the average sale price of those two sales as the data point. So you'll see the card sold for $46.80 on PWCC Weekly, and then the card sold for $4,300 on eBay on the same night. There are people out there that still think PWCC Weekly cards are not getting enough eyeballs. And while I might agree with you on certain types of cards, this is not one of them. I think that the elite Jordan, high-grade Jordan inserts, Kobe inserts, Steph Curry inserts, Steph Curry patch autos and all the Kobe autos and Jordan cards that are not going to be missed, where high-end, mid to high-end collectors are looking. Those cards do really, really, really well on PWCC compared to eBay. Your $35, raw, base LeBron inserts, those are not going to do as well on PWCC Weekly as on eBay, where you've got more lower end collector eyeballs looking at those cards. But the PWCC Weekly certainly does very well in comparison to eBay when you're talking about cards like this Jordan, cards like this Kobe Apparitions, cards like this Hakeem Olajuwon PSA 10. That card was right on the number. That's a card that has come way, way, way back, like every other 86 Fleer PSA 10. This Olajuwon PSA 10 sells for $4,800. We've got a pretty off-center PSA 6 Wilt with really good-looking edges and corners, does $4,800. And then we've got a Kobe 20th year Select Signatures Gold Prism with the what do you call that pattern in the background? God, I always forget what to call that. $49.20 for that Kobe. What's that pattern called in the background? Damn it, they called it that something one year in Panini Prism, and I can't remember what they call it. Starburst, that Starburst looking prism in the background. $4,920 for that Kobe. It is serial number to 10. I think it is an on-card auto if I'm not mistaken. And then we've got another Celtic logo, man. This is the Robert Parrish, and this is the one of one. So the Chief, one of one sells for, Logo Man sells for $5,000, which is more than the McHale Logo Man, which was serial number to 2, sold for. And then we've got the BGS 10, Kevin Durant BGS 10, Topps Chrome Refractor. I did look that one up. I want to show you guys just how rare the BGS 10 was. The BGS 10 is a pop 26. The PSA 10 is a pop 192. This, again, remember, was serial number to 1,499. The BGS 10 is not in Card Ladder, but the PSA 10 sells for $4,000, and this BGS sold for $5,000. I think that's a good price for whoever picked up this BGS 10. I think that's a good looking price for the BGS 10 in comparison to the PSA 10, which sold for about 80% as much. Sorry, I'm hydrating. 2013 Immaculate Collection, two color patch autograph Kobe. 5,400. That's a serial number to 75. PSA 9 Kobe right there. Banchero makes his first appearance in the PWCC number 100 weekly top 100. That is a really nice looking patch. That is a great looking patch. This has got the NBA certification on here. It is card number 69. Ooh, sexy. Out of 99, 5,640 for this Banchero, who's turned out to be a pretty damn good pro early in his career. I like that combination of Banchero and Wagner. They're doing some things and they're guarding their ass off. And Jalen Suggs is making a comeback, a reclamation project. Yeah, he can't shoot, but he can guard his ass off. 2019 Immaculate Nike logo Zion on card. BGS 9, 10 for the autograph. If you're still a believer in Zion, it's serial number to 5. You've got to be kidding with this card. 5,640. This card probably would have sold for $250,000 about 2 years ago. I'm simply joking. Calm down. I'm just kidding. But you guys get the picture. In fact, I'd really like to find this. I don't know if I can find it, but you can do it on your own time. Guess what we have? We have another Kevin McHale. This is a 2018 flawless. The Parrish was a 2018 flawless. So we've got 2 McHale logo men in the top 100. That's interesting. This McHale does outsell the Parrish. So when they go head-to-head, apples to apples, McHale outsells Parrish because McHale was a good person, and Parrish was apparently, I'm finding out, a very, very bad person off the court. Like, very bad person off the court. Do your own research. I did not know that. 1997 Flair Showcase Legacy Collection, Kobe Bryant, row 1. These were serial number to 100, remember. Not a Kobe rookie, it's a Kobe second year, but just God, these Flair Showcase Legacy collections are just absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't matter who the player is. You can be Bryant Reeves, not Kobe Bryant. Serial number to 100. This BGS 9 does 5,880. And then we've got, I think I looked that up. I did. So about on the number. 5,880. It's actually the same card that sold a month ago in the PWCC Weekly. My guess is it went unpaid. I doubt if somebody would have bought it and then flipped it and tried to sell it for more. Even though they did with the auction, with PWCC's fees, they're probably going to net less. So I'm guessing this sold in November of 19 and somebody didn't pay for it. So it went right back in a couple of weeks later. And because those two are the exact same cards. So going back before that, you've got to get back here. That's a BGS 9.5. I can't even find the last BGS 9. You got to go way the hell back. So apples to apples, we can't really even compare that card to see if it was a good sale or not. My question to you is, would you rather this 97 Legacy Collection row 1, or would you rather this 23rd year Kobe Optic Signature Series Black 1 of 1 sticker auto PSA 9, 10 for the auto for $6,300? Which of these two cards are you, right? That's going to say a lot about you as a collector. Which of these two cards do you want? This is serial number to 1. This is serial number to 100. But this is 1997, and this is Optic, and this is a sticker auto, and this is a serial numbered card from the 90s. It's a tough, there's a lot of things that are kind of fighting each other on these two cards. I'm just curious in the comments, which of these two Kobe cards are you taking if you had about $6,000 to throw away on Kobe cards? And then lastly, there's another Kobe card. Here you go. It's the Kobe X-Fractor, serial number to 288, being guarded by LeBron. Surely this card's going to have meaning down the road. There are quite a few of them, right? It's serial number 288, but this card outsells both of those. So you've got Kobe, and then Kobe with the help of LeBron here in the post, all around the 6,000 mark. Interesting comparison there to see where you guys fit. And I was wrong, by the way. There's another, a Jordan PSA 8 does 6,300. There's another misshapen Sidney Wicks card. Have you ever seen delts like this? What is this guy doing? I mean, how many shrugs does he do in the morning for his delts to look like that? PSA 10, 1972 top Sidney Wicks does 6,600. Again, single digit pop for that PSA 10, 1972 Sidney Wicks. 1972 tops to rule them all. Sidney Wicks, I think, is the winner. We'll see. 2003 Topps Chrome PSA 9 Refractor LeBron does 6,900. LeBron 2003 Ultimate Collection Rookie Auto BGS 9, 10 for the autograph down there in the bottom left. Does 7,200. Flawless Patch Auto Steph does 8,100. That's serial number to 10. And then George Mikan, the first, I guess really the first, what's the word? I don't want to misspeak here because I'm not a vintage expert. But when I think of vintage basketball, the first mainstream product I think about is 1948 Bowman. Forgive me if that's not correct, but just to give you an idea, this is not the rarest card in the world. I know, again, 418 pop. I'm used to collecting in the 90s, forgive me. So this is not the rarest card in the world, but it's been graded, over 500, 550 times, something like that between the three big graders. The SGC has a PWCC eye appeal sticker, and it's an SGC 5, and it sells for $9,300. In comparison, if we go look at the PSA 5, you're talking about a $10,280 card approximately. So it is what it is. Let me know what you think about SGC 5 versus PSA 5 when it comes to, super vintage cards like the 48 Bowman Mikan. And then we've got Jerry West with the Laker Giraffe on here. It's an old school SGC 88, but it's an 8, right, near mint. That's got an S sticker, so that is an exceptional eye appeal, spectacular, superior, whatever eye appeal. The S sticker is a 5%. There's not that many of those in the PWCC Weekly. In fact, I think this is the first one we've seen in the top 100, and this one does 12,000, and it is well deserved because that is what I call a razor sharp card from 1961 Fleer. Right next to it, we've got a 1972 Topps Julius Erving PSA 9 for $12,600. I don't think I looked either one of these up. I did. I looked up the Doc. The Doc's up 12%, almost 13% over the last year, with some undulations and some camel humps in the middle there. That's a pop 164 in PSA 9, but we know, right, with the Doc, we've done this drill before. The PSA 10, there you go. Look at it. There's one of them out there, right? So 9 is where you're going. That's just the best you can do because there's only one PSA 10 out there, and if I'm the PSA 10 holder, that's Cajun Eternity right there, baby. So big time card in PSA 10. We know that. PSA 9, you're looking at a $14,000 card. Right next to that, we've got the real, I shouldn't say the real, a very rare 1955 All-American Sports Club Bill Russell hand-cut PSA 9. PSA 9, that's a pop 7. There are only 2 PSA 10s out there. This little munchkin does 13,200. Here is what the pop looks like. There's 2 PSA 10s, like I said, 34,000 for those. The PSA 9s, 13,200 on average. SGC graded a couple of those. Just a really, really rare card, a really interesting Bill Russell card. That's what it looks like big and up close. Just a little bust of Bill Russell right there. The fact that it's hand cut is always fascinating to me. Perforated cards, hand cut cards, I don't really get it. I think there's so much subjectivity to grading those cards and cutting those cards, but let me know what you think in the comments. And let's get to our top 3, Doc, Kobe, and MJ. And so an interesting story here. We saw a Doc down here sell for $12,600. This one goes for $16,200. And if you don't think that PWCC A 30% sticker means something, it means about $4,000 on this one, which is about 25% of the value of the card. And so it does mean something. And that's one of the perks when you submit a card that is eligible for PWCC eye appeal review, which I think is any card prior to 1986, if I'm not mistaken. They give it a free look over, and if it deserves a sticker, they slap a sticker on there. That can add value to your cards prior to 1986. So if you're looking at selling cards, on eBay, and you think you've got a really clean looking card for the, the grade that it's in, maybe PWCC is an option to look at. Send it to them. They slap a sticker on it. And you may do better than you would have done on eBay without the PWCC sticker. Just food for thought. 1972 Julius Erving PWCC A sticker far outsells the other PSA 9, which sold for $12,600. And maybe it's just a better card. I don't know. Maybe that's part of it too. Maybe the sticker didn't matter on this, but where there's smoke, there's fire, and it always seems like the PWCC stickered vintage cards always outperform the non-stickered. $16,200 for that Doc. And then we've got the Kobe Apex, but this is not the cutting edge normal card, which is a very inexpensive card. This is the cutting edge Warp Tech parallel, which means it's serial number to only 25. I couldn't even find this damn thing to compare it to anything. $16,800 for that card. Let's see what I did look up. So I looked up the Warp Tech. The last one of the Warp Tech sold for $24,000 in 2022 on Golden, and it was serial numbered 8 out of 25. So you always got to take a closer look. That is going to cause an exorbitant spike in the price. For those of you who collect Kobe Bryant, you know that the number 8 matters. So that's a that's a big deal in and of itself. And the 9.5 Pop 3 is a better grade than the PSA 9 as well. So that may have led to the disparity in price between $24,000 and $16,800. And as you can see, the serial number to 15 BGS 9.5 in April of 2022 sold for $18,900. So about what we were expecting on the grade for this Warp Tech. It's just a card you don't see very often. I didn't even know that there was a Warp Tech parallel to the cutting edge card, because Jordan doesn't have a cutting edge card because he wasn't playing in 99. So $16,800 for that really, really cool looking Kobe. I don't know if that would bother me. The fact that it's tilted in there with the bottom of it resting against the edge of the slab, that would drive me freaking bananas. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Maybe you can get it re-slabbed and get that thing sort of more secure to where it's not, tilted at an angle like that. I just can't deal with that. And then the interesting card of the night, and I've got a couple of thoughts on this card. Number one, it is an absolutely mesmerizing card. I own the same card in the same grade, okay? It's a BGS 9.5. Mine does not have an NBA gold sticker. It is also not a Gem Plus with a 10 for centering. This one is a very, very good-looking Gem Plus copy of MJ's Platinum Portraits from 1997 Metal Universe, which is one of the best 90s products out there, if not the best. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm crazy. It's got a gold NBA sticker. It sells for $27,600, right? And so the first thing we'll look at is, goddamn, that seems like a lot of money. The last one sold for $13,000, and that was only about 8 months ago. This one jumps all the way to $27,600. Before you think that's shilled or that's crazy or that guy is an idiot and that guy's got FU money and he's just chasing his tail, here's my thought process on this. And I remember when this happened because I did the PWCC recap on these bad boys as well. And my good friend Jeremy Lee was involved in a roundabout way on this run also. Look at the PSA 10 over the last 2 years, all right? 82,500, that doesn't tell the whole story because way back, believe it or not, even though it hadn't sold since October of 2021, the PSA 10 Platinum Portraits sold twice on the same night. First, it sold in the PWCC Premier Auction for $90,000. Then, a savvy collector and probably investor saw that card ran to $90,000 and they jumped, some collector slash investor slash entrepreneur jumped onto the PWCC fixed price marketplace, found my friend Jeremy Lee's card, which was listed buy it now on the PWCC fixed price marketplace for $75,000, and he clicked the button and snatched it before Jeremy could go change the buy it now price on his at $75,000. Would he have changed? Would he have been happy with a $75,000 sale? I don't know, probably, because I don't think he thought it was worth that much, right? But the card sold twice for $90,000 and $75,000 on the same night. That's the PSA 10. So keep in mind, this BGS 9.5 was picked up for $27,600. 3x that is $80,000. So you're leaving about a $55,000 margin. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll take my chances sending this BGS 9.5 in the slab with those upgrades and that gold NBA sticker to PSA. If it gets a PSA 10, there's a $50,000 profit margin built in there. For that reason, I think this was a tremendous purchase, even at $27,600. I wonder if that was the thought process of the buyer of this card, or if they were just thinking, I'm picking up for a great price, I'm putting it in my PWCC vault or in my house in Wisconsin or in my basement in New Jersey and keeping it forever. I wonder if it was the intention of the buyer of this card to maybe try to cross that over to PSA 10 and take a huge advantage of that $50,000 margin. And I'm not saying they had to switch to PSA 10 and sell it immediately. It might not be a flipper that did this. It might just be somebody who collects, Jordan 90s grails and PSA 10 slabs. They may have thought, well, this is a way to have a realistic shot at pulling a PSA 10 for only $27,600, although it costs something to cross it over, but not $50,000. Let me know what you guys think about this BGS 9.5 $27,600 sale last night. I want to do this real quick. I want to see if that's the highest sale ever. Wait, I just clicked the wrong button. I want to see if this is the highest sale ever. So we're going to change our graph to all time. It is not the highest sale ever, but it came damn close to the bubble in 2021. And as you can see, the card in 2021 came all the way back down to $13,200, and now it's all the way back up here to $27,600 for this BGS 9.5 copy. And again, this is an exceptional Gem Mint Plus copy with a gold NBA sticker as well. Just an interesting story right there. The two purchases I like the most, this purchase, even though he paid twice what the last he or she paid twice what the last comp was, and the Donovan Mitchell, RPA BGS 9.5 with no serial numbers. I think that's got built-in value right there. And if you really wanted to, you can go slap some subgrades on there and make a couple thousand bucks in absolutely no time, just however long it takes. PSA or BGS to regrade this thing. Card number 11 out of 99 right there. So anyway, that's it, guys. That is the end of the PWCC Weekly number 100. I appreciate you guys watching. Wow, this one ran long. I feel like I've been talking forever. 54 minutes, like the old days, like the old times when I used to do these things, all 100 of the cards or all 96 of the cards. A lot of 72 tops, PSA 10 set registry sales. That was impressive. Jordan at the very top selling for twice the last comp and approaching record high. Really interesting stuff going on in this PWCC Weekly auction number 100. If you're interested in how you can support this particular YouTube channel, the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, please check out my YouTube description. There's a few ways. There's 4 or 5 ways you can support the channel. I'm not going to waste your time now because I want you guys to have a great week in and out of the hobby. It's Monday. It is December 18th. I guess I'll be doing a Christmas morning PWCC recap, and I'm going to guess those cards are not going to do well because they're all going to be selling on Christmas Eve, which is Sunday night because Christmas is on a Monday. So if I were you, I would not put my cards in the PWCC Weekly number 101. I call it like I see it. I'm not. I don't advise you to, but it might be too late. So we'll see Monday on Christmas morning. You'll get to wake up and do presents with your friends and family and kids and stuff like that. And I'll be talking about cards. Actually, I might push that off to the afternoon. I'll get it in, though. You know me. You know I'll get it in. So I appreciate you guys watching. I won't see you before Christmas, so I hope you and your family have a very blessed Christmas. Again, keep in mind, a lot of the stuff I say about these cards is just in jest. I mean no disrespect, and I don't mean to disparage any of these great players who laid the foundation in the NBA for the players that came after them, specifically the funny remarks I make about the 1972 tops. These guys are probably just doing whatever the people at the photo shoot told them to do. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Have a great week, and peace.